Hey everyone, it is video number 4 of Distance Learning Reboot and Reflection. And for this session, I want to talk about weekly routines. And I have 5 ideas for you. For art teachers and primary teachers, click the 2 links right here. I found some really cool articles that help you get you thinking about this topic. Okay, let me do our little scroll. Okay, so weekly routines. Now, I just made up the names, but what I'm doing with this is I want to help you think about creating reliable routines so that you're just not reinventing every week. Because here's what happens when you have routines, learning routines for your students. Instead of having to teach the routine and the content, you're only teaching the content or going over your expectations. So think on that for a second. When you're introducing something new, not only you're teaching them the new concepts, the material, all of those things, you're teaching them the process, what you want to do with it. All of that is wrapped up, and there's so many places kids can go wrong. You're answering questions over and over again. But if you make some of these things routine, and I know you're already doing this, so I just want to highlight and celebrate that learning and then remind everybody if you're not doing this. When you have the routines in place, all you're doing is adding new content and kind of increasing the rigor. So think about that. That's why routines are important. Again, you teach the routine once, they practice it, and then you add new material later on. Okay, so here's my 5 ideas for you. Okay, team meeting Monday. So I want to propose that you start every Monday morning with a quick meeting with the students. And I'm kind of joking that, they're never too young to learn the joy of being in a meeting. Everybody should have that experience. But here's what you can do. Create kind of like the outlook for the week. What's going to be happening this week? What do you hope to personally improve upon yourself? Like thinking about last week, what do you want to do better? And then also talk to the kids, like what you hope they will improve upon this week. And then throughout the week, when you notice those changes, celebrate them. Call kids by name when they're making the changes you want to see. Again, this is behaviorism. You're reinforcing, you're setting expectations, and then you're celebrating. It's so important. And that'll just help make more connections with the kids. But here's something I learned from this really cool book about kind of like how not to be a bad boss, is that when you're in a meeting, if you say things like, pretend it's your Monday morning meeting with the kids. Okay, everyone, what we really need to work on this week, I'm going to do my best to be a little bit more organized so I'm not losing links and we don't waste that time. Okay, so I've got this new strategy with bookmarks that I learned from our awesome tech leader, Jamie, and I have all my stuff organized. So that's going to be better for this week. Okay, that's what I'm going to be working on. Students, what I want you guys to work on. No more late assignments. Like we just got to stop that. Like everybody's got to get their work in on time. Okay. So when you say things like that, here's what's happening. In the slacker's head, they're hearing, oh, everybody's late, so it's not a problem, which that's exactly what you didn't want them to hear. You wanted them to hear, get your work in on time. Then your worrier A+ 100% kids heard, oh my gosh, maybe I didn't get it turned in. I better email her because what if I'm missing an assignment? So you've done 0 to your objective of reminding the kids to get their work in on time. You've given a pass to the kids who are never on time, and you've worried the kids who are on time. So don't do that. Think about generally what you want to see, or what could be something that everybody's going to achieve in terms of an improvement for the week. Okay, so just an idea on a Monday morning meeting, and don't make the rookie mistake that I made with my team when I was leading in the early days. Okay, idea number 2, word of the day. So this is kind of just a recycled concept, but here's some fun ways to do it differently. So you open up class, you've got a word on the slide, you have the definition, and then you're going to do chat waterfall where you have everybody write a sentence using the word. And when you say go, they're going to press send, and then make up, something about bonus imaginary points to kind of make them laugh. Although you won't see it because it's hard to read emotion and humor on the screen, but you're going to try anyways. If they use the previous week's word in that sentence. So that will be awesome. And then encourage them to try to use the words in the writing or conversations all week, and then just really make a game out of it. Who remembered to use the word of the day from Tuesday, or whatever word of the day protocol you set up, but try to make it a game. Have the words kind of come back, have the kids use them. And again, all good stuff, and they're learning and they're having fun. I had one group of students, I'll never forget them. They picked, without my influence, 6 words. They all decided to write those 6 words in their essays that week to see if I would notice. And of course I noticed, and it was hilarious. And I thought it was like a really fun thing. So maybe there's something along those lines. Like you can give kids certain words and tell the class they've got to try to guess what the secret word of the day is. And, it would be really funny. Like students are talking in chat and then they just suddenly drop like plethora or myriad, anything like that. Like find ways to have fun with the content and the topics that you're teaching. Okay. Next, I wonder Wednesday or would you rather Wednesday? This could also be a Friday activity, but I picked these names because I liked it to go with Wednesday. And of course, this totally rigs for our block teachers, but you get the idea. So think about kind of things of wonder, things of curiosity. You could decide that class opens with posting an image, for science, something from, the phenomena. Maybe you play a song. Maybe you go to wonderopolis.org, which I have linked here for you. So here's the game though. You're kind of curious about QFT that I taught you about in video number 2. Yes, video number 2. And you're like, I want to do that, but it's too much work. I'm not ready. So do this instead. Do I Wonder Wednesday, but only have the kids ask questions. They can't do anything else. So you post something that's a curiosity, something you want them to wonder about, and all they can do is write questions. That would be a really great start into going towards the QFT. Okay, so just an idea. Then I have math teachers. You're super lucky, and maybe you already know about this, but there's this great website called Would You Rather Math. So again, a would you rather would be so fun to pose, do you want this or that? And then justify, explain why. So if you can create would you rather questions based on your content, and hint, Pinterest has a ton for all of you. So if you're a Pinterest fan, go there and find them. I happen to see that math had their own website, which was awesome. And another way for teachers of, younger students or all students, this is great. Here's just a huge conversation list of would you rather questions. There's 200 to kind of get this game started. Again, what you're doing is you're creating something that kids look forward to in terms of coming to class. Like, of course, they want to learn and they want to be there. But there's a lot going on. We're in tough times. And so building in a little bit of these fun activities, I think would be great. Okay. Last couple. Flashback Friday. Again, kind of made up the name, but I love this idea of reflecting. So it's the end of the week. You ask the kids to draw, write, or make a video to show you what they learned, and have them include one question that they have. So when I think about my instruction, a lot of times we did quizzes on Friday, vocab quizzes, kind of summing up the week, reading quizzes, whatever it was. Here's another way to do that check-in and get that assessment feedback to know what the kids learned and where they're struggling. So you're giving them choice. So from video number 3, if you listen to me about motivation, letting them choose how they want to demonstrate what they learned. So drawing, writing, video, Flipgrid, any of those things. Maybe they make a Google slide. Maybe they use Adobe Spark and make a graphic for you. Whatever it is, you can either give them choice or tell them the format, or maybe whoever used the bonus word and the best sentence gets to choose the reflection choice. I don't know. There's like so many ways you could have fun with this. And then have them tell you what they learned. This is a really good way to just see what the kids are learning. Okay, last one. So if I was stranded on a desert island and I could only take 3 teaching things with me that are critical to how I work with students, this would be number 3. So the QFT and motivation theory are like 1 and 2. This is the next one. And this is one of the things I used a ton when I was teaching English. I really struggled with how did I, it's kind of silly to admit this, but I was really worried about open house. And I was like, oh my gosh, people are going to come into my classroom and all they're going to see is like art on the walls. And I don't know, do you tape essays on the wall? How do you prepare for open house? So I found this book because I was, kind of worried about it. And this is an amazing, amazing book. It's full of tons of ideas of how kids can show you what they're learning. So it's called Making Thinking Visible. And I teach this all the time when I'm working with grad students and professional development. It's one of my favorite topics, and it is so powerful. And Lindsay found out that they have rebooted their website. So it actually has things organized. It was this really wonky website. It's organized so nicely. So if you know graphic organizers, I want you to think of that, but imagine they grew up and they're so meaningful. So you're going to see things that you might kind of recognize and know, but they go so much further. Okay, so this is the website. And when you click the link, you're going to see there are these core thinking routines. So they're things that you just, again, as I mentioned earlier, you teach the routine and then you change the concept or the rigor each time. So these are kind of core thinking routines. I really love compass points, and I'm going to show you that one. Really amazing. And then here's one. All of these are about digging deeper into ideas. These are about kind of when you introduce something and then you like are getting ready to launch a new topic or a unit. 3-2-1 bridge is one of my favorites, and I'll talk to you about that one in a minute. And then these are all really cool when you're thinking like about systems and how things interact. This is great for our work with DEI, but also just perspective. So really great when you're trying to get kids to kind of see the other side. Really amazing. Again, here's more for perspectives, controversies, dilemmas, possibilities, and analogies. 3-2-1 bridge shows up here again because there's an analogy component to that one. And then here's the synthesizing and organizing ideas. Headlines is my absolute favorite because it's the easiest. You can do this in chat. You don't need like anything else other than just knowing what this is. I used to think, now I think is really great. Oh, and color, symbol, image. Love this one too for our visual learners. But again, there are so many in here. You pick a couple to really kind of practice with the kids, and then you just work on them all the time. Okay, so let me tell you my favorites. So headlines. Okay, so when I was teaching the Odyssey, I put up a display. This was for open house. This is actually where I got started. And I wrote on sentence strips that I picked up from Lakeshore. And I said, all I need to know in life, I learned in the Iliad. Sorry, I was teaching the Iliad, not the Odyssey. It was 10th grade that year. And then I had the students take a sentence strip and they had to write a headline. They had to write they had to synthesize the entire Iliad, this book that I made them trudge through. And we read the whole thing. We did not choose chapters, rookie teacher mistake, but we read the whole thing. And then they wrote amazing headlines, like things like, don't steal your cousin's armor, or watch out for apples, because I taught them about the apple of discord, like all kinds of funny things. I still have photos of it because I loved it so much. It was an amazing thing. And they were so funny. Like the kids, it was almost like making memes. This is like pre-meme. But think of headlines that way. Okay, so here's a link to headlines, and it will walk you through this. You can do like right in the chat when you're teaching, tell them to kind of synthesize everything. So you click on here and you'll see the resource. It's super easy. You just, what's a summary statement based on what we've been doing. 3-2-1 bridge. Okay, so this one I also really like. Let me make sure you can see this. Okay, so I have Google Slides that I'll link that I have pre-made with this already, this kind of template. So what they do is you introduce a topic. So if you're going to talk about whatever your content area is in the new topic, you're going to introduce it, and then you're going to say, okay, based on what I just told you, maybe it's like a 3-minute introduction, maybe it's just like one sentence, whatever it is, or maybe you played a video. You say, okay, what are your 3 thoughts or ideas? What are your 3 questions? And then a metaphor or a simile. And then they save this away until you get to the end of the learning and then do it again. And this is where it's so powerful that they reflect. What are your 3 new thoughts or ideas? What are your 2 questions? What's your metaphor or simile? And then the most important, how does your new kind of thinking connect back to your initial response? So super powerful. And again, I'll share the template with you so you can have it ready to go in Google Slides. And then the last one, compass points. I love this one also. And I have this one in Google Slides as well. So this one, really easy to do because you just east, west, north, south. So whatever the topic is, what excites you about this idea, what's the bonus, like upside? What are you worried about? Like what's the downside? What's troubling? What else do you need to know about this to kind of help make an evaluation? And then what's your position, or how do we move forward? So really, really easy. Again, quick thing. And I have a Google slide where they can just record their answers. But these thinking routines, I kind of made up kind of these things about like every day of the week. But this right here, these visible thinking routines are so powerful because you're introducing a concept and you can tell everybody, okay, time for headlines. And you've already trained them on that. So they get better and better over time. So that's my pitch for you. Create any kind of routine you want. Start small. Reflect on the routines you have going now. What are worth keeping? What are worth abandoning? Really look at the visible thinking routines list and see if there's something that fits for your class. You can use these in all grade levels and all subjects. If you are super interested in this, let me know. I can try to secure a copy of the book for you. But everything is actually on the website here. So there's not much more in the book other than a couple pictures of some samples, which I'm going to share my samples with you. Okay, so let's recap what we learned. quick scroll. We talked about team meeting Monday and rookie mistakes not to make. I talked about word of the day and how to make that super fun and kind of repeat itself throughout the week for the kids. I wonder Wednesday, or would you rather Wednesday, with resources for some of our math teachers and other ideas for just general teaching. Flashback Friday, which is really about reflecting and kind of thinking on the week. And then what this is really all about, these visible thinking routines. And I shared my 3 favorites, and I'm going to include some samples for you down below in the link. All right. Thanks, everyone. And see you in video number 5.